guys, I'm Alexa with Strategic Placement Group. Welcome back to the SPG podcast. Joining me today is Zach. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am so good. Thanks for walking down the hall with me and joining
welcome.
me today in our podcast room.
Love long walks down the hall.
I know, right? It's not that long. But anyway, we promised you guys several weeks ago that we would bring Zachary back to discuss more on social media, community building, some easy steps to do that. So here we are. We're really excited to be with you. So
Super.
Zach, let's just dive right on into that.
Yeah.
So in the last episode you and I did together, we did a lot. We talked a lot about social media, but we didn't really get to branch out much on what that community is and how to build that community. What are some easy ways we can tell our people at home? How is it that we need to build that community?
Well, building community is a lot harder than people think. You know, like if you hire an agency to manage your social media, you know, we give you a list of whatever we do. And then in there is community management. Well, a lot of people don't give a lot of thought into that. And they think community management's just like you go and follow a couple people here and you do that and you do that. There's so much more. It's so much more extensive than that. Little things to help you build that community. The first thing is just interacting.
Okay.
You have to be interactive because the people want a person associated with whatever, or the face behind that business, rather.
Okay. And so I'm sorry, I don't know that I was super clear in the intro though, but are we only talking about Facebook? Is this social media as a whole?
As a whole.
Okay.
Yeah, because the whole, the rules for building your community really apply, the basics anyway, apply to every platform.
Okay.
You're going to essentially do the same thing across YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever it is.
Okay.
It all deals with the same thing.
Okay. So, well, so in the beginning, how do you really get started? So I'm not really even sure I knew much about community management until you and I started discussing this topic for this video. So what is something easy? I mean, can we break this down into steps for people? How do we need to tell them at home the best way for them to start creating this community and becoming more interactive and stuff on their social media?
Find out which platform you want to start on.
Okay.
That's pretty important in the time you have to spend on each platform. Because although the rules the basics are the same, like talking to people, interacting with followers, following other people, et cetera, are generally the same. The platform's a little different how they operate with the algorithms.
Okay.
So we take Instagram in this example. And Instagram used to be a lot easier to build. In 2019, I believe. And then when 2020 came up, Instagram made some drastic changes to their algorithm, and they implemented or they enforced shadow banning a lot more. So how you used to be able to do it is you would go and follow 200, 500, 1,000 people.
Okay.
And you'd maybe get 10% off that. So you follow 1,000 people and you get 100 people. And it's not that's a pretty good trade-off for that. And it doesn't take that much time.
Is that what shadow banning? Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know if you were looking at me, but you said shadow banning. My eyes went up. I was like, I don't even know what that is.
Shadow banning is when you receive a ban from Instagram, but it is not told to you directly. So the only way to find out if you're shadow banned is if you look at one post from X time, right? And then you look at a more recent post from like a day ago.
Okay.
And you'll compare those two engagement rates and all those statistics. And if this one is significantly less in the past like two posts compared to a post like a month ago, then yeah, you've most likely been shadow banned just because Instagram isn't putting your content on the Explore page. Maybe everyone's not seeing it. There's a multitude of different reasons that imply a shadow ban. So you're essentially just banned for a certain period of time without directly telling you, hey, you're banned.
I think my eyes glazed over just a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
It's tricky. So essentially you're saying because you're trying to follow other people to gain followers from those things, basically Instagram penalize. Yeah, they threw the flag. You're out. You don't get to.
And it gets progressively worse. And the reason they do shadow ban is because if you go and follow 1,000 people at a given time, like now Instagram limits it to 50 in a day.
Okay.
So you can't really go past that limit. You can do some things to exceed that, but you risk your chances of being shadow banned even more. Once you receive your first shadow ban, it's usually like 3 days, and then your next one's a week. I think your one after that is a month, and then after that, it's indefinite. You're permanently gone.
Okay.
Because
So-
they act or they report it as bot activity, and Instagram does not like
Okay.
bot activity.
Okay.
And that's where they'll really get you.
So that's knowing the algorithm for
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So, okay. So let's say I'm new to social media. I've just started a business. I want to create that community, and I don't even know what like shadow banning or any of that is.
Yeah.
So what is the best way? I mean, am I better off to make sure I'm going cross platforms? I mean, I know we've talked about how Instagram and Facebook might be a good start because they communicate. So if you post in one place, it's going to show up in another place. So essentially, you're working one platform, but really you're posting on two.
Yeah. Yeah. And a good thing to start out with, if you can set aside the time to do, is to run Facebook and Instagram and to build a community on that. So on Instagram, you can post to Facebook. On Facebook, in your inbox, you can answer all your DMs there from Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
So both at the same time, as long as you have the accounts linked.
All right.
Obviously.
And for those people that do not know, you mean direct messaging.
Yes,
Right?
yes, direct
Okay, 'cause,
messaging.
Again,
Yeah.
until I started, working with you all the time, I was like, there's abbreviation for that?
Yeah, yeah.
So, okay.
Yes, so
Just
direct
clarifying.
messaging, or on Facebook, sometimes called PM, private messaging.
Okay.
So same thing, same concept. It's just messages to your inbox.
Okay.
And you can answer them from there. The best practices to start is to try to meet that daily limit of people you can follow on Instagram. But at the same time, go and interact with or similar content. Sorry. And the easiest way to do that is go on the Explore page. The Explore page is going to have stuff related to stuff you like.
Okay.
So if you're a business that is in art.
Okay.
And
I like art.
Yeah, everybody loves
Okay.
art, right?
So cool.
So you like other people that post art. So on your Explore page, you're going to have a lot of artists and a lot of drawing and all that stuff. So you'll go through the Explore page, interact with that community. Popular thing to do is go to a competitor or another page that you like that it has a good following. Just start following people from there. Because chances are, if they like that type of content, they're going to like your type of content.
Your kind of content.
And then that can just convert to a bigger community.
So when you are liking these pages and following these people, are they're also able to see your content?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you following them from your personal page or from your business page?
Well, on Facebook from your business, and on Instagram, you can't. Instagram is a little different. So you can only. There's no admins. There's no pages. Well, there is a page, but it's just one specific page.
Right.
And you'll make that your business page and link it to your Facebook and set up all that stuff. With Facebook, it's a little better to like the page than follow the page. So there's a difference between a like and a follow on Facebook. A like makes it more relevant on your feed across everything across your Facebook. It makes that page more relevant. If you just follow, and sometimes it doesn't always appear. So the follow is kind of like, hey, I like your page, but I really don't want to see it all the time. A like is, hey, I really like your page. I want to be in it.
So is it important to go in and like, follow, and then, go in and like some of their content? Is that necessary as well?
Yeah, because you don't want to be one of those people that just try to, I don't know the right term for it, but just always take from others. So if you show that you're a respectful person in the community, you're going to get more respect from other people. If you're one of those people that is just, hey, I'm going to follow you and take your followers.
Right.
It's people don't like people like that. So always be respectful of that, and you'll get a little further with people in the community, because chances are they're going to have more respect for you by doing that. And it's really not that hard. It sounds like a lot, but those are really easy things to do.
It does sound a little complicated, but not at the same time. I mean, when you first started, I was like, oh no, I don't know what you're talking about. But now I'm with you. I'm like, okay, because as you can see, I'm sure we got a little bit of a generational gap.
Just a little bit.
Definitely your thing.
Yeah.
And we talk about a lot how this really isn't my thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, what, I'm always like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. What does it
just
do?
happened?
Yeah.
What is this all about? Like, I don't even know. Like when they changed everything over from white to dark or whatever, the dark screen.
Yeah.
After you explained it to me, it totally made sense. But it was like, who just broke my Facebook?
Yeah.
Or you're going, did you see this? And I'm like, dude, I haven't been on Facebook all week.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting. So when it comes to, so let's say somebody isn't using Facebook, they're only using Instagram, or they're only using, what other platforms essentially that what if it's LinkedIn? If they're only using LinkedIn, it still builds very similar?
Yeah, still the same way. You're going to want to make those connections with people, because on LinkedIn you have connections, not like the typical like you do with Facebook and Instagram. So you just reach out and make connections with people, and then you interact with your community the same way, because it's all the same principle.
Okay.
Just how the platforms interact are a little different. Which again, if you apply the same thing to all platforms, you'll eventually go somewhere. But with all the recent changes, it's a little harder to grow. So your best chances of growing is to be on every platform you can be on that makes sense to your business.
Right.
So, if you can be on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, that's going to just expand all your, greatly raise all your chances of being discovered and building a stronger community.
Right. And your reach, I think, is another term that is used.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we're talking about that engagement, is it better to comment as well? Or does that change things, or does that really matter? Because that's a little more time consuming. Are you going to spend a whole day going through and like and follow and I love this, like and follow and I love this, like and follow, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, commenting I have found is a little better.
Okay.
Just because when you go and favorite or like a post, you really can't see like you. Right.
Okay.
So you stand out more if you're commenting. So the other people that are commenting on that artist page or that artist post that you just liked are going to see you. Maybe they engage with you. And that's the key thing. Once you get those people to engage with you, you're going. You're already good. And then you just repeat the process. You may only get to interact with 2 people in a day, but that's 2 people that you had before, or 2 people you didn't have before.
Right.
So it's a slow process. But yeah, if you had the option, if you didn't have the time, the best thing to do is follow or like the page and comment.
Okay.
It doesn't take long to like a post, so I really wouldn't see why you would skip that step.
Okay.
But I would definitely prioritize commenting over liking just a post.
Okay.
Because that also can report bot activity. If you're just going through and liking stuff.
Okay.
Instagram, even Facebook, but Facebook's a little more relaxed than Instagram, which doesn't make sense because they're the same.
Right, right.
Which I don't get. But if you go through and just start liking everything on Instagram, yeah, you can be picked up as a bot. And Instagram will shadow ban you. Or even permanently ban you. Just depends how they're feeling that day. So
that's interesting.
Yeah.
So so essentially we're doing this to build our community, and that is making sure that people are able to see your content more, right? So your content will be seen by more people, in return helping you to build a bigger clientele and drive traffic to whether it's your website or maybe it's just your Facebook or into your storefront, right? That's the whole point of building a community. Because sometimes I feel like I get lost in the verbiage. Like it's like we just said, sometimes it can be very complex, yet it sounds pretty simple in the same respect. So it's kind of like, gosh, where do I even start?
It is really tough, but you want your community to fall in love with you. Not the thing you're doing at that moment. You don't want that short success. You want them to be there for you.
Okay.
So that's why we always, I think we mentioned our last podcast episode about social media was bring personality to your posts and stuff, because you want that community to be with you, not just with what you're doing. You want that too, but if you can make the people like you as a person, they're going to stay around a lot longer.
Right.
And that's how you build a very, what's the word I'm looking for? A very
loyal.
Yeah, loyal. That's
base.
the word I'm looking for. Loyal community. That's the whole goal. Because you can have, you go and post something on YouTube and you have 100,000 views, but then your next video does 5,000. That does you really no good. I mean, in a sense, it does for a little bit, but you didn't build like a strong enough community because a lot of those people just went away.
Okay.
So the same principle with everything. You want to build a strong community and one that's going to stick around for a while. And then if something ever happens, like, you know, your business, you go through a time of crisis like we recently went through, the whole world has in the past year, that they'll stick around. And there's a lot of businesses, I'm sure, that have lost their community because they didn't have a strong enough community.
Right. That base.
Yeah.
You really want to build up that base.
Yeah.
And because you're right, those people will be loyal to you and come in and help you out too, which is essentially what community's for, right?
Yeah, and there's so many. I mean, we just scratched like the surface of it. You can go so much more in depth because all the different platforms have their own unique features that you can do. Like Instagram, a really cool one to do. And now you need a decent following to do this to really make a difference.
Okay.
So if you build a good following, there's a thing called the VIP stories.
Okay.
And all it is nothing special, but the people that follow you think it's special. So on the stories, when you're viewing on Instagram, typically they just have like this a color of Instagram, like the Instagram logo is like purple, yellow, or pink, whatever it is.
Okay.
And the little circle around the story is that color. But when you make it a VIP, it's green.
Oh.
And so statistically and psychologically, green sticks out to the human brain more than any other, not any other color, but more than those colors.
Okay.
So it's going to stand out to your audience more. They're going to be like, wow, I'm special because I'm a VIP.
Because I have green. I got the green light.
Yeah, exactly. So
I get to go in.
There's so many small things that you can do that change your community. Again, you need a little bit of a backing to do that. I would say probably over 1,500 or 1,000 to 1,500 followers on Instagram to get good results from that. But then people will talk.
Right. And how hard do you think it is to build up to that 1,000? I mean, this is not something that's going to happen overnight.
No.
Right? I think we need to be pretty realistic with our people at home in regards to, this is not something that they're going to start doing and they're just going to automatically see
not at
results.
all. And there's little things you can do to build it faster than others. I mean, if let's say you're a journalist or something and you post like very hot topics all the time, your community is going to grow faster. Just because you have people looking for that and you're going to have people interested in that, whether they like your opinion or not. Okay. Because they want to hear it. So there's things you can do by picking what you are doing in your business that will help you a little more. But I would say for the average business owner, I mean, it can be anywhere from a year to like 3 years. It just really depends. And it depends how you pick your people too. I mean, if you're going to, like a thing that I found that is a good practice is go to verified pages. That have the blue check mark, because usually those people are a little more loyal to that page or account or that person, whoever it is, than a unverified. Which, I mean, there's a big difference between that. Like you have a lot of loyal people that aren't following verified, but if you want to get a good batch, that's how you do it.
Like I didn't even know that was an option.
Yeah,
like a verified option. I'm learning stuff. I swear every time we have a conversation, I'm like, where did that term come from?
Yeah, and you can...
Like, am I on verified pages? I'm going to have to start looking.
That would be a really big priority. I would say, like, that's like our goal. That's like the first goal I had in mind is to be verified. Because it just makes you that more relatable, and it's like this business is an actual business. Right. This is true. This is great. And for some reason, Instagram's a huge company. They're like, Instagram verifies them. Yeah, that's the real deal.
Right. Those so I get that. It's just more credentials, basically.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's like a big resume you're building, and that just adds to it. And it's quite hard to get verified. You have to have, I think last time I looked, this was back in like 2019, 2020, 10,000 followers. And from that, I think you have to have, it's either a 5% engagement rate across your posts, I think. But it's been a long time since I've looked at the qualifications for that. And then all you do is submit a submission to Instagram. Facebook works the same way as Twitter and all that stuff.
Right.
And they don't even have to approve you. Even if you meet the requirements, they can still turn you down.
Really?
Yeah, they don't have to do that for you, which is kind of crappy, but it happens. But I would say that should be a very long-term goal for any business owner.
So essentially, when we're talking to people about building community, we want to they want to make sure to go in and start following pages that are similar to theirs and commenting and liking on those pages because they will gain followers from that. They want to make sure to understand that this is a long-term thing. So this is not something that you start with small goals.
Yeah.
Don't think you're just going to pick up 1,000 followers in a month.
Yeah.
Maybe you're just trying to pick up like 5 or 10, start really small goals and just keep building for yourself and keep tracking those because you will see the numbers rise.
Eventually, yeah, you will. And never, it might be tempting for some people to go and buy followers. That's like the biggest no-no ever because your account will get banned pretty quickly.
Okay.
If you go and buy followers. Instagram there used to be an app that I used for Instagram, and it was just to clean Instagram up. So where I would go and follow people and stuff like that, the app made it easier for me to go and unfollow the people that don't respond to me, that don't interact at all.
Okay.
Just by using that, I received a shadow ban just because I was using a third-party app that Instagram didn't like. They don't like anything else besides them.
Wow.
So they're very, very strict. And if you think going and buying a following is going to make you more credible, it does for a little bit, but you won't be around.
But it's really not worth it.
Not at all.
Because you really want to create that organic, evergreen base of just those core loyal followers. And I mean, it seems like the ideal number is really 1,000. So if you can really get to that mark, it all just starts taking off and working for you without nearly as much work.
Yeah, it's like the same concept as like passive income. It's like passive followers that you really obviously once you hit that 1,000 mark, typically you get quite a bit more people following you. Like you wake up in the morning, you got like 50 new followers. And that number only increases when you get more followers, obviously. Then you hit the 10,000 mark and you don't even have to follow people at that point. At even 5,000, you're good. You're
right.
people.
It's working for you.
Yeah. And it's like a search engine too. It's like Google. So your bio, has a huge, say in how people find you. So anytime you go and look up a page on like Instagram or Facebook, if you have good keywords in your bio, people look up like advertising. You got advertising in your bio and stuff like that. You make sure it's great. It has a chance to pull you up because it's in your bio. And for some reason, not for some reason, but I'm glad they did it that way because a lot of people don't know that's how it works. I mean, a lot of people do, but in the grand scheme of things, the average person, the average small business owner probably doesn't know that. So if you make sure your bio is SEO friendly, you will gain a small following from that. And as you grow bigger, it all adds on to each other.
Right, because those are keywords that are searchable, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So many things that you can do.
See, I didn't even know that. That's so interesting. So making sure, so if we were to wrap all this up, you want to make sure that you build that core base of loyal followers, that it takes time. So start with small goals. You want to, I just lost the last thing you said. You want to. For the,
we really.
I know. I just literally lost it. It's right there. It's right there, Zach. Come on. Help me out. So we want to build that core.
Yeah.
Those core followers. You want to make sure to put those keywords.
SEO. The SEO optimization. Sorry. I was thinking.
It's okay. It's okay.
I was thinking of buying the followers and I was like, what is she getting at?
Yes. You do want to make sure not to buy followers.
Yes, you don't want to do that.
And now we've all learned what a shadow band is. So you don't want to become one of those either. Well,
never.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry we kind of lost it there for a second, but we reeled it right back in. And
we discussed a lot.
We did. We did. I feel like this is a good stopping point, and I feel like every time I think we're just going to bring him back and tell a little more, I'm like,
Nope.
we're going to have to bring him back again to tell a little more because it's so complex.
It's so much. There's a lot to it, and a lot of people don't realize how much there is.
There is, but we do because we have you.
We do.
And what a blessing that is.
Right.
So we hope this has been helpful to you guys at home. If it has not, or if you are interested in some help with your social media, we invite you to call us. Zach is here all the time. He's more than happy to help
Love
you.
talking
I will
to
be
people.
happy to pass the phone over because he's definitely better at it than I am. So again, thank you so much for joining us today. And
Thank you.
we look forward to seeing you again, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.